The DC fan gives hope. Right, this is William Adams. Please subscribe, please like, please dislike, please look up the Facebook page on Facebook. Facebook page on Facebook. DC fan gives hope. So I thought, I spent yesterday, as you may know if you followed my YouTube channels, that I spent the day having a huge DC day, you know, and sorry about the background noise, that's somebody else on the phone and stuff. So, I had a huge DC day, and it started off with watching Man of Steel, and I went live a couple of times on Facebook, and I was watching Man of Steel. And then when I felt like I had something to say. Now I made some YouTube videos where I am watching the movies and I'm commenting on stuff like that. But I thought on the Facebook page, I'll just come on every now and again, show you a wee bit, and talk about it. So the first one, of course, was Man of Steel. Then I went on to play. I went on to watch Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, and then I watched Justice League, and all three of those movies I occasionally went live on the Facebook page. So once I went and I watched all three of those movies, I I then went on to play Arkham Knight, and I went live on that on YouTube channel. So it was really good. Now as I came off and today I go on YouTube channel and I'm seeing something like Film Junkie, and he's talking about why BVS is still getting talked about and Man of Steel is still getting talked about. And then I seen an article talking about the same thing, about the Martha moment and what it means to people and stuff like that, and how it's caused controversy and stuff like that. And then I came across videos again with the Snyder movement and stuff. And I cannot believe. I mean, there are some great points into everything. I mean, as I say, I enjoyed every movie that just came out in DC because I'm a DC supporter. But when you watch the two movies, Man of Steel and BVS, then you suddenly, it's clear and it's shouting at your face that Justice League wasn't anything to do with Zack. Okay, yeah, the story he may have had something to do with that movie, but there was no way he would have made that movie that way. Not after coming from Man of Steel, that's sort of grey, BVS, it's sort of dark, and then straight to light. But even though that was his plan, to make Justice League that sort of dawn of justice, to make it lighter, and they've said so in so many articles. By the way, in case you're wondering where the DC stuff is, I am wearing Justice League pajama bottoms. I had a lazy day there. So when you're watching the three of them together, and you're thinking, what would it have been like if Zack Snyder made Justice League, okay? What would have happened? What sort of film would we get? Now that's what I would encourage all three of you to do. What I would encourage you to do would be watch the three films, right? Now I know most of you enjoyed Justice League, right? And some of you have enjoyed it because it was like a big animated movie. But what I want you to do is watch all three of them together, right? And I'm talking about those people that enjoy Justice League. Now, what has came about in most articles I've read is that people are constantly talking about BVS and Man of Steel. They are constantly talking about it. Why? Because, yeah, you could say it's controversy, but then they're suddenly realising that Man of Steel wasn't as bad as they thought. BVS wasn't as bad as they thought. Why? Because they were films ahead of its time. Zack Snyder they even talk about Watchmen. Now, I'm not a big supporter of, a big fan of Watchmen, okay? I wasn't a big fan of the book, but I could see the potential in the movie and why people enjoyed it, and if it's DC, then I'll support it, and stuff like that. But people were turning around and saying, wow, and there were so many editions, director's cuts made of the Watchmen. Now, just now, people were saying that they're not releasing the Snyder Cut, Justice League or something like that, because it would contradict or it'll put in jeopardy the future of the DC movies, which is a lot of bollocks, right? It could blow out. Say they do release it, right? They do release the Justice League, the Snyder Cut, and they put in the brackets the Snyder Cut, right? Not only would it be a best-selling DVD of its time, but I think people will realise that this is, the continuation of this film is not where DC's going next. But what they will see is the end part, the end chapter of what Snyder started off with Man of Steel and BVS. They would have got the ending that they wanted. They would have got their ending, and their salute off to Zack Snyder as he leaves the project, a universe that was created by him. Now, some people have said to me, and it's been quoted that DC fans are delusional and that they're not actually seeing, their flaws. Well, see, this is it. It's not that DC fans or people that love these movies are seeing the flaws. It's because the people that came out first away and said that they didn't like it are slowly seeing why they do like it, and that's what they can't grasp. Suddenly the haters are going, wait a minute, I gave that film another go and it's not as bad as a thing, but wait a minute, does that mean I've been wrong? That is why. Okay, people are suddenly slowly waking up. A lot of people hate the film without even seeing the films. It's acceptance. People that were Christopher Reeve movie, fans that couldn't go by the fact that these were a lot stronger, darker characters than they grew up with, suddenly just switched it on one day and went, wow, I can see that the director's vision was so different, but I can see where he was going with it, and I've sort of put my hatred towards these films to the side because I accept what the director was trying to do with these characters, right? I put my prejudice for these films because I was such a fan of Christopher Reeve movies and whatnot, and Batman earlier movies, that I put that in front of me without trying to put myself in those shoes. So slowly, as the Snyder movement grows and grows and grows, and we had the snail mail going to Warner Brothers and sending the letters. We've had Zack Snyder posting images of Star Wars: A New Hope, and then posts a picture of Commissioner Gordon and Batman as they look on the rooftops, and who shot first? Who shot first? Was it the Han Solo image you see in The New Hope in this? So Zack Snyder's there for it. The actors are there for it. This thing ain't going away. This Zack Snyder, and I've said this many times on my previous movies, that this is something that Warner Brothers will have to live with if they never release the Zack Snyder cut. They will have this on the internet constantly for years to come. Release the Snyder cut. They would have had it with the Richard Donner cut. They would have had it. But of course, back then there wasn't the what do you call it? The internet. There wasn't internet available. There wasn't this so-called social media, this tweeting and stuff that helped promote to get these films done quicker. If DC wants to make successful movies, then they have to, and I've said this before, they have to join the two fans together. Fans of the new look DCU and the Snyder fans DCU. They have to close the chapter. They have to give the fans a Justice League movie that they so much look forward to. BVS is one of the masterpieces because fans look forward to it for years, since they were a young kid, that Batman and Superman shared the same screen together. For the very first time, people were, and they had their own ideas, their own ways of thinking how it was going to be. And just because it wasn't the cheesy way they wanted it, we still got it, and then people were still talking about it. That's how huge and powerful these two characters are. That there is so much demand and wanting this to be a success. And sadly enough, it's the fans who are stuck in nostalgia that let the film down. But again, now we see that these films are again still getting talked about. So this movement is not going anywhere. This release, the Snyder Cut, will forever haunt Warner Brothers until its release. We have to have Zack Snyder come out and say, fans, thank you for your support. We're having the Snyder Cut. Right? This is my stamp on it. I am putting my stamp on this film. This is it. Okay, we can rest assured this is the film or close to what I originally imagined the film to be. This is it. And then you'll have acceptance. You'll have Snyder fans moving on to join the rest of the DC fans. Will it happen this year? I'm not too sure. But I hope you will join me by hashtagging Release the Snyder Cut at the bottom of this video in the comments. I hope you join me on my Facebook page and hashtag any of the photos or any of the stuff that I was posted on the page. Hashtag it, Release the Snyder Cut. I want you guys and girls out there to help me make sure that my page on my YouTube channel is getting out there to help these fellow Snyder fans. So please help me use my page, my YouTube channel, to join the fight by hashtagging it, by sharing stuff on Twitter, on sharing stuff on Instagram, because my page is all about supporting the best stuff for the DCEU. And as I say, my Facebook page started with The Man of Steel by Zack Snyder. Thank you.